Hello, friends, and welcome to the Weekend Catch-Up Club, the coffee morning show brought to you live every Saturday direct to Facebook and available later on demand at youtube.com/gamertide. For episode 25, we have an absolute belter. Joining me on this topic of the show, it is my absolute bestie, Mr. Scott Watson.
Good morning, and good morning, everybody. It's lovely to see you all.
Cheers,
and
everybody.
Thank you for having me again, sir.
Mm-hmm. Twice in 1 week. People are going to start talking. What's going on? What's going on?
You are mental, mate, to allow me twice in 1 week.
Well, you know, we've got your microphone all hooked up now, so now there is no excuses.
No stopping me.
Yeah,
no except my wife, you know.
We're going to have to get that on air, like soundproofing into your room, so the missus can't hear you blether all that nonsense that you normally spout.
I know. I can see her going to start her abuse at us in this Facebook chat. What you see?
She absolutely is. So, viewers, we have topics that we're going to be covering off today. Hitman 3 that got released on Wednesday, I think it was January 20th. Yes. I've been playing a lot of that. We're going to be talking a little bit about that and also show you some gameplay footage. We have the Resident Evil Showcase, which was just the other night. We're going to be talking a little bit about that, again, showing the trailer again as well. We have the Xbox. We're making the news about Xbox Live Gold subscriptions. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. We have the new games for Gold for February that were announced, and some are also looking quite exciting. They're quite a collection. And of course, games that are coming soon to Game Pass, that got announced, and some are actually available right now as well. So we're going to scratch that off as well. So, Mr. Watson, oh my goodness, that's quite the list. Shall we talk a little bit about Hitman 3? Because that basically launched. It's everywhere. It's on Twitch. Loads of people are playing it. It is reviewing incredibly well. Agent 47 is back. It is the first time IO Interactive have released a game as a fully fledged independent developer since they split from Square Enix last year. Oh, let's do this. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get the video played, and this is going to play on a loop. So that's some gameplay footage for our viewers there. That will just play, and we're going to talk about it. This is an IGN video, so that's just going to play in the background, and it's freaking awesome.
I was going to say that. Was this you playing, or was this somebody
No. Leave it to the professionals to professionally capture the gameplay footage, and then we can just talk over it. So, oh my god, Hitman 3 is amazing, absolutely amazing. I've been playing a bunch of it the past few days. Whenever I get a spare bit of time, and as a new dad, you know there is no much spare time at all.
No,
but you get the odd half hour here and there, enough to kind of crack out a mission. But I have to say, I am hugely impressed with it so far. I've been a fan of Hitman for a while, although I didn't play the reboots that extensively. But I love Blood Money, and for all its sins, I actually really liked Absolution as well. I really enjoyed it. But, you know, they rebooted it in 2016, and that was the big return to form. Hitman 2 was spectacular, but Hitman 3 is something insane because I've done the first 2 missions, which is the Dubai skyscraper, which we'll see in this video playing. I have done the Dartmoor Manor mission, which is just insanely good. And I'm on the 3rd mission, and it is this techno nightclub setting, and it is it's so good.
Do you get to bust some moves in it?
Well, if you're playing in VR, you can actually like do the dance moves, like bebopping and stuff. It's pretty funny. But the Dubai mission is incredible because it's all glass and reflections and this just incredible like opulence of a skyscraper. It's basically like they've taken the Burj Khalifa in Dubai and made this fictional tower, which we're seeing on the screen here, and it's just amazing. Your audio is playing. I think you're leaking a little bit of audio from the video. I think so. Just be careful of that. Or I'm hearing something anyway, but that's okay. So yeah, the specifics about the new game over the previous games is there's not a massive amount that's actually changed. If you've played Hitman 1 and 2, you know exactly what you're going to get with Hitman 3. It is just refined. Yeah. The picture quality is to such an insanely sharp level. I'm playing on Xbox Series X, so it's running at 60 frames per second. It's a 4K resolution. It is just this insanely clean, sharp image. And I tweeted out yesterday that I honestly don't think I've seen an image on a video game this sharp or this clean before. And that's saying something because, you know, Gears of War 5 on the Xbox Series X is absolutely incredible. But there's something about Hitman that is just looks, I mean, it's, you look at it and you think, is that the insane amount of detail, insane crispness? And a lot of that is from the art direction. But you play Hitman games for the experimentation, the insane, like, fun ways and inventive ways to take out your target. And they've just expanded on everything, they absolutely could. The different ways, the stories within the mission, like the little dynamic stories that pop up within each mission are so inventive, and there's so many of them, which means that you've almost got this infinite replayability of each mission, and it's insane because you can easily break through a mission doing it like ham-fisted and raising alert levels and killing loads of people and get through the mission and move on to the next one and never go back. And yeah, that's pretty much how we've both played it in the past. But you can go back and really master it. And there was the first mission, one of the dynamic stories that happens in it is one of your targets has actually hired an assassin. Not you, it's a different assassin. So he's got a meeting with this assassin, and it's to take out a reporter that's going to run a story on him, that's going to like leak and, you know, ruin his reputation and everything. So what you can do is you can take out that assassin, then pose as the assassin to take his place, and then have the meeting with your target, and then take him out that way. So you're getting into the inner sanctum just like by impersonating a different assassin. Or you can do the classic thing of like taking out the staff or the security personnel, donning their disguises and doing it that way. Or you can sabotage different things in the building or poison different things in the building, different ways to take out your target. It's absolutely insane. But the real highlight so far is in Mission 2, the second mission, which is Dartmoor. And it is, if anybody has seen the movie Knives Out, everybody's been talking about this on Twitch and on Twitter and everything, on all socials. It's basically the movie the movie Knives Out. Or if you're really old like us, we'll remember the movie Clue, right? Which is which had Tim Curry as the butler. I think it was Tim Curry as the butler anyway. And it was basically the board game Cluedo, but put to a movie. So the premise of this whole mission is this incredible, like, wealthy family are all suspects in the death of their father. I think it's their father anyway. And so a private investigator has been called in to try and work out the death of this father. Who's behind it? Was it natural causes, or was it one of the family members that stands to possibly inherit the estate or something like that? Were they behind it? So what you can do is, again, you can either knock out and take the disguise of the private investigator, and then you get free access to basically the entire mansion to start interviewing and questioning all of the different, like, relatives to work out their alibis and their stories, to work out who did it. Completely detached from your main mission of taking out like another target in the game in this particular mission. And it's just fantastic, like the level in which they have gone to create these little micro stories within the mission that's almost kind of superfluous to your main objective, but it's just additive, and it's building up layers in which these little stories come out. It's just incredible. And the Dartmoor level is just stunning as well. It's this country house that's just, it's beautiful. I cannot praise it enough so far, and I'm really enjoying just spending like an hour walking around the levels and trying to get a feel for like what's going on, what's happening, and then trying to take out the target rather than trying to immediately rush in, just beeline it for the target, making a hash of it. And that is the real beauty of Hitman 3 and the Hitman series overall, is finding out the intricacies of the level, the opportunities, these little stories that are going to be happening. It's like, oh, okay, so this guy always likes to come to this particular bar and drink this particular drink. That's a hypothetical. I don't know if that happens or not, but it's that kind of thing, right? So it's like, okay, so if he always requests that bottle of liquor, I can poison that liquor in advance, and when he does eventually when his scheduling loop comes back around to him taking the drink, you know he's going to be poisoned and all this kind of stuff. The systemic stuff in the game is just amazing, and I urge everybody to check it out as much as they can, as quickly as they can, because it is absolutely incredible.
Are you sure you weren't a hitman in a former life, by the way? Because I don't think I've ever heard Ross wax lyrical for 10 minutes straight describing a game.
I know, right?
Not get a word in edgeways.
Sorry,
but listen, I mean, no, listen, no need to apologise, because you're absolutely right, mate. The game sings on the Series X. It absolutely sings on the Series X, and we're getting very close. We're not quite there yet to the photorealistic, version of games here, and that's, you're talking about it from the third person perspective, and you're not even talking about how it would look in virtual reality with the headsets. So I mean, that takes it to a whole other level.
I know.
Indeed. I mean, watching the footage here, the game is stunning. As you say, they've refined it and refined it and refined it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Just make it tweaks and tweaks and tweaks to make it better. And it's just stunning. And it's a big sandbox. It's just a sandbox of killing fun.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And
in a gaming sense.
Absolutely. And I've been watching some VR footage, and okay, whilst the graphics and the performance does take a massive hit because it's the PlayStation 4 base version of the game that is only compatible with PSVR, which is a real shame. And at the moment, PSVR is the only VR platform that it's available in. So once this opens up to the PC VR stuff, like the Oculus, like the Valve Index, these way more powerful VR units, and obviously way more powerful PC hardware systems that are running it, I think you're going to see like a much higher fidelity Hitman game in VR. But some of the footage that I've seen just looks incredibly fun. Just being first person and being able to like garrote somebody with your VR motions and stuff, it just looks so much fun. So I really hope that they open up like proper motion controls, proper move controls for when it does migrate over to PlayStation. Because at the moment I think it's just the DualShock. So it's not even compatible with the Move controller. So it's a really limited VR experience. But I think there is a lot of potential there, and still a lot of fun to be had within VR. But the way we obviously play it, and the way most people are going to play it, is of course the default third-person way. And if you're on next-gen hardware or a good PC, oh my goodness, you're in for one hell of a treat. It's absolutely incredible.
Stunning.
Absolutely stunning. Yeah. It's I mean, what a game. And it's just so great to see them come back with, really doubling down on what makes Hitman and sticking to that and making it the best Hitman experience that there is. And I will say one last thing before we move on to the next topic, and that if you own the previous 2 Hitman games, or if you buy Hitman 3 and then you can buy a legacy pack, I think it's a legacy access pack, that will import all of the Hitman 1 missions, all of the Hitman 2 missions into the Hitman 3 interface, and then you can play those previous missions with the new game engine. So you get the graphical refinements, the performance refinements in Hitman 3 applied to Hitman 1 and 2, and I think that is just amazing. So
it's good going from them. It's absolutely good going from them, and it's a series while I love to watch it, I wish I could love it to play, but my play style. I sadly do not have the patience. I don't have the patience. I'm just rubbish at having the patience to play and methodically work through games like that, which is such a shame, because the Hitman games I did play, I loved, but I just was never very good at them.
I know.
It's like the whole Dark Souls genre. I'll just you people love them. I'll just watch from afar and enjoy.
I'm terrible at them as well, but I think you would really love it, because you just go into the level and then you just explore without really doing anything, and then it's so funny to. I mean, one example was I was in one of the nightclub missions, and this guy, one of my targets, had a bodyguard, and I was disguised as one of many outfits, which you can do. You can disguise yourself. You can take over one of the DJs. As one example of the nightclub, right? So you could do that. You can disguise yourself as one of the technician staff, which deals with the sound and the speakers, or you can disguise yourself as one of the security staff. So I was one of the security staff in this instance, but this bodyguard never left his side. So, but what I had is I managed to orchestrate a distraction where you have these little gold coins. So you can flick the gold coins to like grab the attention of somebody that it bounces near of. So just by pure luck, I flicked the coin, and the security guard, when you get this question mark over the security guard, he's like, "Oh, what was that?" And he walked over to pick up the coin. And whilst his back was turned, I got a screwdriver and just lobbed it at the target's head and instantly killed him and walked off. And the security guard didn't see anything happening. And he turned around and he's like, "Oh my God," kind of thing. And it's this reactiveness of like the NPCs is so much fun. And that was just one way. I mean, I didn't get a very high rating of it because there wasn't much finesse to it at all. It was like a bloody murder, you know.
It was opportunistic, you know.
It was opportunistic, but oh God, it's the scope for how you can take things out. You know, there is so much variety and ways to handle a situation. It's mind-boggling just like how impressive each sandbox is in its detail, and the flexibility for the gamer to be so inventive with different things. And I really hope that this sells loads, like sells gangbusters for IO Interactive, because it is the last Hitman for a while. They're moving on to James Bond, which that in itself could be just incredible. I mean, talk about a match made in heaven, James Bond and Hitman developers. I really hope it does really, really well for IO Interactive, but oh man,
absolutely.
I'm super excited for what a James Bond game could be as well. So, Oh my goodness! Right, quickly moving on to the next topic. Jesus Christ! So, Resident Evil Showcase, Scotty. We actually did the live watch along, right?
Yes.
Oh my God! So let me pull up the trailer and we can just play that. Let me let's just switch over, hit play. There we go. So we did the live watch along night before.
Thursday night, yes.
Thursday
night, yes. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. So just a quick recap there then. Oh my God, Resident Evil Village. I'll let you talk at length about this one because my mouth is all dry. I'm parched.
He's going to have his coffee while he lets me chat a little bit about. Yeah, it's not zombies. That's it. There we go. I'm finished. But you can chat some. No. First, again, I never cease to be amazed already by the graphical fidelity of the new platforms. And I know PC gamers have been used to that for a long time, but the footage that they showed of the village the other night is it's gobsmacking. As we were talking on Thursday night, this is less. Resident Evil seems to be moving less away about the whole Biohazard, Umbrella Corporation, zombies, and the likes. And Resident Evil itself is more becoming a brand for just good horror games. And this is. There's a matriarch, a vampire matriarch in this, which you'll see throughout the footage that's rolling just now, and she has two daughters who basically scare the pants off you for a start. There's werewolves. There's a guy with a big, bloody huge hammer thing who looks part werewolf, part I don't know, but it just looks amazing, all in first person as well. Yep. If anybody was I say lucky enough to play 7 in VR, first person, that was terrifying enough. But it just, the atmosphere, the detail, the lighting, the shadows, the jump scares, I know. And they announced straight after that, obviously they released a demo on PlayStation 5 called The Maiden, which is a slight aside from the main storyline, but it's more to give you a feel of what the game engine is like and what it's going to be like in game. Yeah. Which I noticed quite a few folk and a few of my mates who had the chance to play it were kind of waxing lyrical about it as well, saying how good it sounds and plays as well. And then of course there's some beautiful collector's editions that kind of Ross on Thursday nights going, this is some lovely stuff as well. And there is an upgrade path, if I remember right, as well. They are releasing this on PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One X, surprisingly as well, because we weren't sure looking at the visuals and the gameplay whether we were actually going to see that on would I still call them current gen consoles, old consoles? You know, current gen now probably PS5.
I'd say last gen, like old gen, yeah, very much so.
So that was a surprise, but again, Capcom are providing an upgrade path for that as well, and I think pre-orders were available from Thursday, and they were doing a nice bundle that included Resident Evil 7 as well. Now, I think 7's on Gamepass at the minute, though, right enough, Ross, isn't it?
I think it is. I'm not too sure, but
if anybody can correct me there in the chat if I'm wrong, but I thought I still saw it in Game Pass. So yes, mind blown.
I know. One of the things I completely missed on the showcase was, for some reason, I had it in my head that you play as Chris Redfield. You don't at all. You play as Ethan Winters. Chris Redfield, I think, is in it, but you play as Ethan Winters. And actually, I didn't realize at the time, but Ethan Winters is who you play in Resident Evil 7. So it is it is a direct continuation of some sorts, because I haven't played 7, so I don't really know the story of that. But that's clearly why they're bundling 7 and 8 together as well as an option, because it is this through line of this character in this new Resident Evil world. So that makes sense. That makes total sense now. And I was like, surely you play as Chris Redfield. What are you talking about? But no, clearly showing my ignorance of Resident Evil lore, having not played 7 and everything. Yeah.
You know what? You were on a roll the other night, and I kept thinking, I'm sure it's not. I thought, no, we'll go with it. And listen, David's just confirmed in the chat that he said 7 is on Game Pass at the minute as well. So if you have an Xbox One X, get 7 downloaded and have a bash if you've not, because it's terrifyingly good. It is.
And just that shift to first person, we did talk a lot about it on our last video. It is that shift to first person makes it like super claustrophobic, so effective for horror in a way that third person horror is very different, because you can see what's around you, whereas you've got tunnel vision with a first person viewport. I'm horrified, terrified, shitting my pants at this prospect of this, but I'm definitely going to be playing it. And I want to play 7 first, so I've got that downloaded and waiting, and I can't wait to see just how good this new game engine looks as well, because we're going to be getting a demo on all consoles. They said in the spring, before this launches, because it is May 7th, I think it was.
May 7th, yeah, May 7th it comes out. Yeah.
So not long to go, but I'm annoyed that only PlayStation 5 got the demo, but we're going to be getting a different demo, closer to the time, and I've got that to look forward to. So exciting stuff to see Resident Evil coming back like this. And oh my god, Digital Foundry did a technical analysis video on the demo. I urge everybody to go see it, because it looks spectacular. That was obviously running on the PlayStation 5, so it's all PlayStation 5 footage that they are capturing, and it looks insane. And even for a demo, which is usually like an early build of the game engine, certainly not final code, it runs at a near locked 60 frames per second at 4K, and it just looks spectacular. I mean, next gen is going to be such a treat for these franchises and more games coming out. And it just looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, okay, that's quite enough of that. Let us kick over into, what was the next topic of our show? Actually, yes, it was the Xbox price reversal. Oh my goodness. What a manic 24 hours has been for the poor marketing team at Xbox. So, they announced that Xbox Live Gold was going to be getting a price hike, and it wasn't just a hike. It was effectively doubling the price of a 12-month subscription from $50 up to, I think it was $100, or convert that to pounds, obviously for different markets or wherever your local currency might be. And the uproar about this on Twitter, everywhere, were like, how can you brazenly justify a price hike like this, which doesn't offer anything else but just a price hike? And it felt like a way to force people into Game Pass, because it was essentially matching the price of Game Pass Ultimate, I should say, Game Pass Ultimate with the Xbox Live Gold. So I can see the marketing team thinking, okay, well, if we're matching the price, therefore, it's a no-brainer at a consumer level to just get people onto Game Pass Ultimate. That's what the marketing teams must have been thinking about, the business side of it.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are not interested in Game Pass because they'll either never get a chance to play it, or they just don't think they would make use of it, or they like to buy their games, and that's totally fine. And you can't just do a doubling of price of, I just want to play my games online. That's all I do. You know, that's the kind of mentality for a lot of gamers. They're not interested in like all these free games that they're maybe never going to play. So talk about a backpedal, and this is the statement here. So updated yesterday, at the end of the day as well, I might add. We messed up today. You were right to let us know. Connecting and playing with friends is a vital part of gaming, and we failed to meet the expectations of players who count on it every day. As a result, we have decided not to change Xbox Live Gold pricing. We're turning this moment into an opportunity to bring Xbox Live more in line with how we see the player at the center of their experience. For free-to-play games, this is a new thing. You will no longer need Xbox Live Gold membership to play those games on Xbox. We are working hard to deliver this change as soon as possible in the coming months. If you are an Xbox Live Gold member already, you stay at your current price. Renewal. New and existing members can continue to enjoy Xbox Live Gold for the same prices they pay today. So in the US, it's $10 for 1 month, $25 for 3 months, or $40 for 6 months, and $60 for retail 12 months. Oh my goodness, that is pretty wild. But I'm really, really great to see that they have done this massive U-turn, because it was ridiculous.
It was a completely unnecessary. I do think. Well, you're right, Ross, in what you said, in that I think their idea was they're trying to push everybody to Game Pass. You're absolutely right, but they just they went about it the completely wrong way, and especially under current global circumstances. You know, I mean, that comes back to the point they said there about, you know, playing games online is a release and an escape for folk at the minute that are in the game. I mean, I know, as you know, Ewan's 12, and he, I don't know how he would have been without that connection to his friends, being able to play online that he has at the minute, because it would be a very lonely case. He'd be sick fed up of his mum and dad, to be quite honest. But you know, it's good and fair play to them that they have done this. The only thing I'd maybe say is, it sets maybe a wee bit of a precedent of, you know, people power. If enough folks scream and shout from the top of their lungs, does that mean that something else would change? You know, I don't know. This turnaround makes sense. It makes perfect sense, because they really made a mistake with that. They really misjudged the current situation in the market and everything, you know. But moving beyond that is a case of, well, if people know if they can stamp their feet enough, it'll change. But
yeah, I think in this instance, people stamping their feet and crying about it was a good thing, because it was such an extreme price hike for no added benefit. Whereas if it was just going up by an extra $5 or $10 for the year, then that's fine. You know, prices increase, inflation, things do have to go up to improve services. That's one thing. That's one thing entirely. But it wasn't a case of like cancel culture kicking in and we're up in arms about this. This was a genuine like issue, because like why were they doubling the price? Like that was such an extreme tactic. And I think they prevailed, and Xbox backpedaled, and rightly so. And I don't mind a slight increase, but going from $60 to like $100 is really
it's
extreme.
Insane. It's insane. And I think what's actually nice about what they've done is they didn't just backpedal and go, right, we'll just put it back to the way it was. They took a minute and went, well, okay, this whole bit now where you're not needing the Xbox, you're not needing gold to be able to play. Now you're talking about games like Fortnite, Rocket League, I don't know, things like World of Tanks and games like that if I remember, that are free to play.
Yeah,
you're not even going to need gold anymore, which is a nice step in the right direction too. I think that was something. I think was Sony not like that already with PlayStation.
They were. I was actually just going to mention that, but they've done free to play games, not needing a PlayStation Plus subscription, probably like I think since the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see Microsoft kind of now matching that. So because you could even play Like Destiny never required a PS Plus subscription unless you wanted to do the Strikes or the Crucible. You could play all the quote unquote offline, even though the game is not an offline game at all. But it's like if you want to just do the quests and the adventures and the stuff you would normally do solo, you could just do that without a PS Plus subscription. I can't remember if co-op was part of that or if it was only Strikes and only Crucible. I really can't remember if you wanted to play co-op, you had to get the PS Plus. But if you wanted to just play the game, like solo, you could just do that. But yeah, you're right. Games like Warframe, Fortnite, etc., they were all free to play, so you shouldn't have to get an online subscription to play that. So it's really great to see Microsoft kind of matching that and adding that to the gold. Sorry, not the gold, the service that's kind of free. You know, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say. I know it'll be good because that should actually bring more Xbox users onto these kind of games. It should give a slightly newer audience to some of these games now. The fact that folk aren't needing gold. To be fair, these days most folk will probably have gold, but you know. It's another nice little thing that Microsoft have finally gotten around to doing, you know, that Sony have been doing for years.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So great. So check that one off and we'll move on to the next topic. And it is, of course, speaking of gold, Mr. Watson, you actually shared this one to the group. So I'm going to let you take this one.
I'm trying to remember now. I know that the standout is obviously Gears 5 on Games with Gold this month. Because Gears 5 is Gears 5 at first was one of the first games I think when Gamepass came out.
Yes.
And if you haven't played Gears 5, please do. Especially if you've got Series X now because it looks stunning. There are better games in the series. Don't get me wrong, but Gears 5 is still a great game and it's a beautiful, beautiful technical masterpiece.
Yeah.
To showcase the powers of the Series X. Beyond that, here's a question.
Okay.
We were talking about Indiana Jones, or we were talking about Indiana Jones and the likes, and Ross found Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb was available. Did you actually buy it?
I bought it, yeah.
No,
I bought it about a week ago. I think it was a week ago or thereabouts. It was just shortly after the news broke that Bethesda Machine Games were going to be making an indie game. I thought I'm gonna check out Emperor's Tomb, but it was £9. I thought, okay, that's fine. So I immediately bought it and I've started streaming it. So I actually stream it. I'm streaming it every Thursday as part of a Retro Revisits playlist. So check that out, guys. And I've got to admit, I'm actually really, really enjoying it. It holds up, and all this kind of janky kind of charm, it really does hold up. But yeah, then the feckers announced that it's getting added to gold as a free game. I thought, you bastards! Typical.
My first thought was of you when I saw that list. You know, and I thought, oh no!
I know.
You're also getting the original Resident Evil now. When we were talking about this on Thursday night as well. The first, please go in with I would say low expectations because the controls, although they did put in an alternative control control scheme in the updated version of Resident Evil, please keep your expectations low because it's not aged well at all, even with the remaster. Because by God, see if you tried the original control scheme, you think to yourself, my God, how did I manage to play games like this back in the day?
I know,
but that was just a normal. It's a lovely slice of history to go back and have a look at. The set perspective angles, the old opening of the doors for the loading screens, you know, all this kind of stuff. The puzzles, God, the puzzles in Resident Evil were crazy mad. You know, it's worth going back just for a little slice of gaming history. And I'm trying to think, what else did we have as I'm peering at my screen here that's coming up? Give me a wee hand here, mate.
We have Lost Planet 2. Which is coming.
Oh my God, the Lost Planet series was great.
That was a series I absolutely loved as well. And a game called Dandara Trials of Fear. So I don't know what that one is at all, actually. So I'm just going
RPG-like, doesn't it?
So it says, discover secrets, dangers, and an array of unique characters in the world of Salt. In this Metroidvania-style platformer, that's a check for me already, a heroine arises out of the ether of fear to help a world on the brink of collapse, featuring stunning handcraft pixel art and original soundtrack compositions that bring a visual and auditory wonderland to life. That sounds awesome.
This is right up your street, mate.
It is right up your street. I know. And and Lost Planet 2, I'm going to be diving into Lost Planet 2 definitely because I I still have my PlayStation 3. I haven't hooked it up for a while, but on that game, as like this is way back, like 2 generations ago now, and that's crazy to think about 2 generations ago.
Yeah.
One of the free games was Lost Planet 3, and I remember playing a demo of that at one of the EGX years that we went at the Eurogamer Expo, and I loved it back then. And I think part of the charm is that it's science fiction. It's like the survival horror action. In this kind of Antarctica set, like ice world, ice planet, but also the lead character of 3 had an uncanny resemblance to Nicolas Cage, like a massive resemblance to him. So I'm a big fan of the 3rd game, but I want to check out the 2nd game because I know the 3rd game was a bit of a departure in terms of the cast of characters and stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out the 2nd game just to see what it is.
The Lost Planet series, I think, to my mind, it was one of the first co-op games because I remember playing it with our good friend Mr. Wilson. We played through the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd together, and the Lost Planet series was very enjoyable. So I'll be looking forward to kind of diving back into that and just seeing what I remember of it, because there was some great gunfights throughout it, and a really kind of interesting sci-fi storyline to boot as well.
Yeah, I remember the game having a mixture of these huge like skyscraper bosses, but also like these massive swarms of creatures. And
that's right.
I remember being blown away by like the physics at the time and like how many of these creatures were on screen at any one point. And this was back on the PS3, Xbox 360 era. So I wonder if they've been boosted at all via the Xbox backward compatibility, because that would be even a resolution bump would be real nice, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is your Games with Gold roundup. So next up, finally, we're whittling through all of the headlines today. We may actually have to make our Toys for Life show the next episode if we don't. I think
you might be right, because we were so caught up with Hitman and how great it was.
I know. So, it's all my fault. So. So coming soon to Xbox Game Pass, we have The Outer Wilds, almost the entirety of the Yakuza collection, Desperados 3, Donut County, Cyber Shadow, The Medium, and Control. So what is wild is that, so some of these are already available. Control for PC, already available. Desperados on Android console and PC, already available. Donut County is already available. Now, I've got the trailer here, and I want to show, actually, I lost it. Oh, no, there we go. Let's just check out this trailer here, because it's a puzzle game, but it's got this art style, and the mere fact that it's called Donut County, I think it's like, okay, it's got my attention. So again, this is another IGN first few minutes of it. I might check it out. It's on Game Pass, so it doesn't really cost me anything other than bandwidth to download it. So
the art style reminds me of Untitled Goose Game.
Yes.
Very much like, if anybody, again, on Weird Games, if anybody has played that, please play it just for the sheer fun factor. Untitled Goose Game it's on Game Pass as well, and it is daft as hell. It's a lot of fun. But this kind of, it's not cel shaded, but it's just a nice animation style in this game. I thought, having a look at it as the kind of trailer's playing out here, intro, Katamari Damacy came to mind first looking at it, but it's like that, but it's not, because this thing's a bit like, it looked like you were I honestly can't explain it. I can't.
We're seeing this footage here. It's like a puzzle solving thing where you got to drop things down into the hole, and every time you do, the hole gets bigger.
The hole gets bigger.
So it's like a puzzle game, like physics based puzzle game, which is kind of funny. So he's stuck looking at the physics. That's so funny.
And I mean, you get a goose riding a moped there, so what's not to like, So you
just got to gobble things up, and then to make the hole big enough that the chicken thing, the chicken man, whatever, goose man, I don't know, falls down the donut hole. It's like, what? Okay, it looks fun. It looks like a riot anyway. So certainly a good time.
The great thing is, because, and this is the beauty that we've talked about in the past, the beauty of Game Pass. When you're paying for Game Pass, games that ordinarily you maybe wouldn't touch, or you wouldn't say, I'm not paying money for that.
Yeah.
You can safely go, you know what, I'm going to give this a wee try, and because I found quite a few surprises with Game Pass that I ordinarily wouldn't have touched. You know, and this is the kind of game that you would go, oh, I'll give that a little blast and see. You know, like 5 hours later, you're like, oh, look at this, I'm hooked on this. So
yeah,
yes, it looks rather unusual.
It does indeed. So, okay, so the next game that we've got on Game Pass that I want to highlight is Cyber Shadow, and this just looks freaking wild as well. So, you and I, Mr. Watson, are of the 8-bit era of like side scrollers, especially Ninja Gaiden and Double Dragon, and you remember the, like Shinobi and those kind of era of video games. So this is coming out, and it looks exactly like that kind of throwback to this, and it looks like it's going to be really difficult as well, just like those classic games. And I'm pretty excited for this as well.
These are the kind of games that back in the day in the arcades you would chuck loads of 20-pence pieces in.
Yes.
Because you were so rubbish at it, and you go, I just want to get a wee bit further. I just want to get a bit further. I want to get a bit further. And it's it reminds me a wee bit Strider as well, kind of comes to mind. But
yes.
you're right that it just reeks of 8-bit gloriousness.
Yeah, I know.
16-bit, 8-bit, yeah, it's like Amiga days type thing, you know.
We're seeing a lot of that, because remember a couple of years ago we got The Messenger, which was a similar thing as like a side scroller. But what was unique about The Messenger is it did a mix of some of the game was 8-bit, and then it would transform, and then some of the game went into like 16-bit. So the artwork completely changed, but this looks like a classic throwback to 8-bit style of games.
Absolutely.
And it looks brilliant. It looks really, really good fun. Like really difficult. I need like an easy mode or a god mode or something. Like make me or give me like double damage, double resistance or something like that, and then I can maybe play it.
That's like the old days of the PC playing Quake, where you press the escape button and you put this /god mode on, and then you would be untouchable. That's what you need to do that, don't you?
Access to the DOS commands, yeah,
to the console. That's it. But, I mean, it looks like a lot of fun, but something again. I would, this kind of game I would download and play for a little bit and then go, it's far too hard, I can't play it anymore. You know, while reveling in the art style. Because like you, I love all this kind of throwback, because as you say, being of a certain age, it is a look back at the way things you remember games to be, you know?
Yes, absolutely. So it's one to check out, and it's coming to Game Pass. So again, it's that kind of thing that we mentioned about discoverability of games that you would normally never buy necessarily because you don't know what it's going to be like, whereas Game Pass, just download it, give it a sample, and you might absolutely love it, and you might discover some gems in that collection. So great stuff, like really great stuff.
And I will say on the Game Pass sites now, I noticed there's quite a lot of offers flying around just now for like 3 months for £1, or there's offers for EA Access as well, which is pretty cheap, which converts to so many months of Game Pass Ultimate as well, I think, or Game Pass 2. So that it's well worth just having a little look out across Tinterweb and Tinterweb shops to see what offers are on, because you could get a good deal just to try some of these things out, you know.
It's good, it's great to just sample. And the big one that is coming at the end of the month on January 28th is The Medium. So this is the first big next-gen only title, which is exclusive to the Xbox Series consoles, so the X and the S, and it's by horror game maestros Bloober team that previously did Layers of Fear and oh god, I forgot the name of it. That's terrible. The Observer, which was that cyberpunk horror game, which I'm a big fan of.
And Observer is also still on Game Pass as well.
It is. Good shout. So this looks okay. We've got a picture of a shoe at the moment, so I'm just going to scrub forward until we get to some give us some gameplay like stuff. But anyway, the whole thing about this is that it breaks into these dual like realities. So one is like a demonic world or horror world, and one is this kind of our world, I want to say, but I don't know specifically just yet. And it all plays out seamlessly in real time, where the screen is split, so you're seeing these dual rendered worlds like at the same time. Yeah. So that's something that could only be done on next generation hardware. So I'm really interested to try this, and of course it's coming to Game Pass, so we just get to try it for free, basically.
It's already pre-installed and sitting waiting for the 28th for me to try. It reminds me so much, or from the trailers and from the footage that we see, it reminds me so much of the way Silent Hill was back in the day, where it would shift into this spirit dimension, and it was all really freaky and really weird. And I think this is going to be a good mix of jump scares and just real unsettling freakiness. Because the little girl that's in the spirit world herself is freaky enough as it is. We'll probably see her in due course here through the trailer. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. As you say, this is the first proper made for Series X game. Yeah. So it'll be. I'm really interested to see how much they push the console with this original game.
What I'm loving is that horror games are going through this massive renaissance over the past couple of years. And Bloober Team are really showcasing that they are like one of the best. It used to just be Capcom for the most part because of Resident Evil, and they were like the go-to horror game teams. But now Bloober Team are really like shining in this genre. Yeah, that these guys are a team to watch, and what they can do with horror, it's wicked.
See, that wee girl's just appeared and I got a shiver right down my spine. Give me the heebie-jeebies, as my son would say.
Do you think this little figure is going to be as like quake-inducing as Alma from the Fear series at all? I used to always hate when Alma appeared in Fear.
It depends how... Yeah. Man, that was another series I've totally forgotten about. Fear was great. Fear
was great. It was all like psychological horror, like super unnerving. And then you had this like Max Payne style of bullet time, and it was that is a series that I would love to see return in some capacity. That would be brilliant, like really good. Yeah, but we're seeing the dual realities happening here. So in the lower third or 2/3 of the screen, you can see that the character's actually physical appearance has changed as well. And then in the normal reality, it's just this kind of urban, decayed office building. And but again, I don't know. I have no idea how it's going to control it. If you just control the movements of one and it affects the two worlds at the same time, I'm assuming that's how it works.
Yeah. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it plays out, isn't it? Yeah. Especially the puzzle solving, as we've seen from this trailer, showing like with the staircase there, how it differs in the real world from the spirit world type thing, and that's obviously where you've got to get things connected. So yeah, it's going to be a big thing to see next week, and it'll be very interesting to play it.
I'm excited to see what the puzzles are going to be looking like if it crosses the two dimensions or realities or whatever the premise is. And like, I don't know if you can jump between the two or you're always controlling the two at the same time. It remains to be seen. There's lots to explore here, but roll on the 20th of January, which is next Thursday. So I'm sure we'll be talking about it on next week's Weekend Catch-Up Club as well. So that'll be a good one to tune in for as well. Yeah. Man, so cool. Anyway, that's quite enough of that. There we go. So, quite the list of games coming to Game Pass.
Oh my goodness. And as you say, you also mentioned the Yakuza series, which is just brilliant.
Yeah, so that's finally coming back to... It's not coming back, what am I talking about? Finally coming for the first time to Xbox, and that means that... So Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 are now available on Xbox. I don't know if they're on Game Pass or not. Somebody let me know in the comments if they are. They might be. But from January 28th, the same day as the Medium, which is next Thursday, dropping on Game Pass is Yakuza 3, Yakuza 4, Yakuza 5, and later on, the final game in the series, Yakuza 6, the Song of Life, is going to be getting added as well. So the entirety then of the Yakuza franchise will be available on Game Pass, and that is insane. Just having that is insane. And
it looks like, I'm just having a look at the Game Pass stuff here, and it looks like they are coming 28th, so the same time as Medium next week. Next week.
Fantastic, yeah. And it's just great to see Xbox players finally get a chance to experience the Yakuza series, because it was always a PlayStation exclusive franchise right back to the PlayStation 2, I think it was.
Absolutely.
So it's great to see that it's getting opened up to larger audiences on different platforms. That's fantastic to see. Really great to see. Oh my goodness. So there we go. It is just on the hour or thereabouts. Do you want to save the Toys to Life for a future episode where we can get everybody together? Because we were supposed to have another 2 guests joining us for this that know a lot about Toys to Life as well as Mr. Watson, whereas I don't really know much about it. So we're going to shelve that topic. I apologize. I know we promoted it at the top of the show, but we are running into, you know, we're running long, and we've been having a lot of fun just talking about the events of this week. And
there's been so much happening this week. That's the thing, isn't it?
There has. So let's save that when we can get the gang all together, and we'll make it a really good like bumper show all about Toys to Life, and we'll save that for then.
All about things like this. Look at this.
Look, I've got Starlink, Star Fox. Sorry, not Starlink. Starlink was the game. I know, we've got all of this stuff to dive into. Oh, that one looked, Big Hero 6 looked a little bit dusty there, Mr. Watson. What was that about? Get it polished, come on. Just unpolish it on camera, whatever you do.
I know,
So guys, thank you for tuning in to episode 25 of the Weekend Catch-Up Club. I'll update the thumbnail because we're not obviously talking about Toys to Life anymore. But if you have enjoyed this morning's show, then thank you very much for showing your appreciation by tuning in and by supporting the channel. And we will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.